Okay, hello. We're going to teach you to make what I call a divine salad. We've got some ingredients here. We've got fresh broccoli. Probably only need about that much. It really depends on your taste if you want more broccoli. But as you'll see, this is going to be plenty for our purpose today. We've got 5 eggs. Once again, you can use more or less depending on your taste. We're going to boil these. We're going to cut up the capsicum, or red pepper, as some people call them. We've got snow peas, kiwi fruit, we have mushroom and an assortment of nuts. And once again, these are going to depend on your own taste. But most of these that I've picked are generally pretty healthy. You have almonds, which is pretty much the healthiest nut out of this group. But you have good tasting nuts as well, the macadamia, the cashew, you've got the walnut, and you've got Brazilian nut. Apart from that, we've got some stuffed olives. In this case, we're going to experiment today. We usually use the green stuffed olive, but we've got olive stuffed with feta as well. So this is going to be quite interesting. So the best thing about this salad is you can vary the ingredients according to your taste. Sun-dried tomatoes. I should hold that for you. Cover the brand there. These are conveniently cut into strips, so I don't have to chop it, and I'm lazy. And we got some corn kernels. So once again, you don't have to add a dressing. I usually use a lime dressing. In this case, we're just going to muck around with a cheap brand we bought today and see how we go. But this salad's generally pretty good even without a dressing, as you'll soon see. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the ingredients up. We're going to show you what they look like, and then we'll get back to you in a minute. So I'll just go off the cuff. Alright, so we're almost done. We're just finishing up on the broccoli. Trying to get into bite-sized sort of pieces, so that's probably a little bit too big, so I normally just cut it in half. Something big would be perfect. Once again, up to your own taste, really. So we'll quickly get this done. So it doesn't take that long to prepare this salad, maybe 30 minutes. It really does depend on your ingredients. We boiled the eggs now. We're just going to chop the eggs up a bit. Just after this.
The announcement coincides with the first ever meeting of Burmese activists in Australia. It gave those participating in the Sydney gathering plenty to discuss. They feel this latest development is
that's pretty much it there.
the General's image on the international stage.
So we have our olives and all the standard ingredients that we showed you before. Our eggs that have been peeled, which
recording.
Okay, so we have our egg. I'm just going to include the yolk as well as the white. If you've got some form of cholesterol issue or your doctor has advised you on some nutritional aspects, don't eat them because they're in this salad. Make sure you find out from your doctor first. Right? So we're just going to chop up the egg just into rough squares. Nothing too fancy. It's all going into the one place in my stomach. So okay, so we're going to do this. We'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, so we've just chopped the egg, and that's still cooling down at this point. So we're going to start throwing in the ingredients. Got the broccoli. This is the fun bit. We've got to mix it with our hands, just like a little kid would. Play, and broccoli's in. Add the snow peas. Looking a bit green now, isn't it? And then start adding the colour in. So we've got the pepper, or the capsicum. Throw that in. You don't have to throw all your ingredients in all in once, like especially if you may have purchased too much of one item. Just start with maybe half of it and throw it in and see how it looks. So I'm just going to throw most of that in because I know it should be alright from my previous experience. Le carotte. Yeah, adding a bit of colour in there now, it's looking okay. That's going in. I'm just going to give that an initial stir, see how it roughly looks in a bowl. You can see that these simple ingredients are starting to fill up a fair bit now. This is a decent sized bowl. So I'm going to throw some mushrooms in, and I'm not going to throw them all in, I might just throw a handful in. And just see how it all mixes in. Alright, with a handful of sun-dried tomatoes, and these were in oil, but we did drain them with some kind of paper towel. So we'll throw that in, and throw it in according to your taste. I'm going to put them all in, stuff it, because I like them. We're going to throw in our lovely olives, with feta. They've been pitted. They're looking nice. And we might go for the kiwi fruit. We'll throw all of that in. I might throw the mushroom in because it kind of looks like it'll fit. Alright, we've got enough room on the bench now, so there we go. So at the moment it's looking kind of interesting in itself. Give it a bit of a stir. It's kind of looking alright now. I like the sun-dried tomatoes because the oil will actually permeate and mix with the other vegetables, so you don't really even need a dressing. You can even smell it. We usually throw avocado in here, but the avocado is quite seasonal in Australia, so it was very expensive. We didn't bother, but you can, if avocado is quite cheap, throw it in. Once again, according to your taste. I'm going to throw the egg in. I'm going to put all of it in. And this will be the protein part of the, or the large protein proportional ingredient. What else have we got? And we've got the corn kernels. So I'm going to use about half at this point. And throw them in. Yeah, by volume, I think we'll probably throw the whole lot in. It looks like it'll fit. It won't be too overcrowded. Give it a decent stir. And yes, I am spilling some over the sides. Naughty man. Alright, so that looks nice enough in itself, but the killer ingredients I love is the nuts. Gives it that nice little crunch to it. So I'm just going to throw in. I'm going to pretty much use all your almonds. And then by weight, I only usually get a couple of scoops, so that's about a couple of 100 grams. So for those who are watching in America, I'm not going to use pounds, get on the metric system. 200 grams. Probably going to use, not all of these. These were salted, so be careful how I tip these in. Not too much salt in there. Get the salt at the bottom. So that should do for about now. We can always add some more in, especially if I don't stop spilling them everywhere. Then we've got Brazil nuts. Yay! This is going to be turning out quite a nutty salad. And probably put 3/4 of these in. And about half of the macadamias. It's a fair bit of nut in there, as you can see, it's a shitload. We'll start mixing that in slowly, and it'll kind of hopefully distribute throughout the whole salad. Probably need a slightly bigger bowl. All in all, roughly, not sure, depending on where you live and the local produce and whether you can grow your own vegetables, it might only cost you anywhere between $20 and $30 roughly to make. That's Australian dollars, so whatever that may equate to in Europe or everywhere else, I don't know. So slowly mixing, and I think my next purchase at a store will be a bigger bowl. But this is a kind of a pretty healthy salad. I usually eat this for lunch and dinner, and it lasts you, because you see, for one person it'll last you about 3 or 4 days. Maybe a couple of people might do a complete dinner. But either way, yeah, pretty healthy. Not much fat in it at all, except for some of the nuts. Got a bit natural fat. But apart from that, that's my divine salad. Enjoy.